Okay, so welcome everybody to another lesson. It's lesson 6, and now it's all about coping with stress. I know that at the back of your mind today you're saying, wow, kailangan ko to ngayon. Kasi I'm really stressed right now with all the PTs, with all the MTs. Feeling ko fourth quarter na. First quarter pa lang, right? But anyway, uh, of course, back with our previous lessons, we realized that an adolescent really undergoes a lot of changes, and these changes are inevitably resulting to some issues and to some challenges along our growth as adolescents, and inevitably, along with these challenges in ourselves, we experience stress. So, meaning to say, stress is uncontrollable. It will always be there as along with our growth. Here's my question. Is stress natural? Is it something abnormal? Is it something to be expected? Can we live without stress? Or is stress really a part of our human existence? So here in lesson 6, we'll try to learn the physiological processes of stress, why there is stress, what's the purpose of stress, and if stress really is normal. And the last question is, when is stress abnormal? Or when is stress destructive to our body? Okay? So let's proceed. So stress, ikaw yan. Nag-aaral lang yung general mathematics or pre-calculus. Nag-iisip. Pero yun pala, ibang iniisip si Crush. Di kaya yung nangyari sa kanyang game. Joke lang. So, stress, in definition, is a natural response to the demands of our environment. From this definition, we can say that stress is natural. It's a response to the demands of our environment. Again, because the environment is so demanding, especially during adolescent stage when we meet a lot of challenges. So meaning to say, stress is very high at this point. It is a physiological response. When we say physiological response, that's the physical response of your body to a psychological threat. So see, our body, our physical body responds to something psychological. Later on, we will learn more about that. It is a normal reaction to anything that can disturb our balance, commonly termed as homeostatic state or equilibrium. The main quest of our body is always to maintain balance, or what we call as the equilibrium. So that's the normal state. When the equilibrium is being disturbed by environmental stimuli, say for example yung PT, so okay ka na, relax ka na, biglang PT, biglang may math. So meaning to say, yung balance na yung katawan ay na-disturb because of these psychological threats from the environment. So as a coping mechanism of our body to respond to those environmental threats, psychological threats, we develop stress, right? Now, according to Hans Selye, stress with associate stress with mental, emotional, and physical states produced within the organism in response to stimulus, either internal or external, is perceived as a threat. So as long as there is a threat, our body responds with stress. Walter Cannon calls it the fight or flight syndrome. Why fight or flight syndrome? Because evolutionarily speaking, since that time our ancestors are still in the cave, so stress was developed in order to survive. Because when the body is so relaxed and the body is so calm, then it is unable to respond to certain threats. Say for example, wild animals during that time. Na kapag sila ay relax na, mabilis sila makain ng mga wild animals. So in terms of emergency, if their body is so relaxed, then they cannot respond so quickly. So stress is there in order for your body to really respond to those threats. Okay? So it is a physiological reaction accompanied by faster heart rate, muscle tension, or dilation of the pupils when a person perceives threat in order to survive danger. So meaning to say, one of the reasons why the human race is still existing until now It is because of stress. Because without stress, we cannot survive. Imagine running away from wild animals with your body so calm. Well, you cannot survive that. But today, it's not anymore about wild animals. It's not anymore about the natural disasters, because we have somehow coped up with these challenges. So today, it's more on, like, in your context, you have your education, academic works, like projects, like PT. So they serve as threat. Anything that is perceived as a threat, not just death threat, but any forms of threat, like sasampalin kayo ng iyong girlfriend, hindi kaya iiwan ka na yung boyfriend. So they are forms of threat, and our body really responds to it stressfully. So see, it's natural. Stress can either be positive or negative. Later on, we will realize when is stress negative. Today, we will learn that stress is also positive. Because without stress, our body will not really respond in order to solve or to fight, to solve, or to escape a particular threat. Kaya nga tinawag siyang fight or flight syndrome. You need a very alert body in order to fight. In the same way as you need a very alert body in order to flight or to escape. Okay? Kaya tinawag siyang fight or flight syndrome. It's the ability of your body to fastly fight or to fastly flight. So, stress is caused by threats, environmental stressors, either internal or external. So, when you say stressor, it is anything that induces a stress response. So, there are different types of stressors. You have physical stressors, you have mental stressors, social, emotional, and psychological stressors, economic stressors, and spiritual stressors. So makikita nyo, ang dami palang nagpapastress sa ating buhay. And they can be categorized into these 5 categories of stressors. So physical stressors, example of which are body pains, sickness, wounds, anything that is physical. Mental stressors, yan, yung assignments, mga mahirap na project sa mathematics or philosophy, mental stressor. Social, yan, yung mga parents nyo, minsan nakaka-stress pag inutusan kayo habang kayo naglalaro ng Dota. Di kayo yung mga, yan, social, emotional, yung mga love life, diba? Kung niloko kayo ng inyong partner, yan, nakaka-stress yan. Psychological din, pag siguro if you're bullied or may mga iba't iba kang problema, so that's it. Economic yan, economic stressor talaga. Pag walang pera, nakaka-stress yan. So, spiritual stressors, ito medyo difficult ito. Pero pag when you say spiritual stressors, perhaps it's more on your existential side. May tinatawag tayong existential crisis. When sometimes you are asking your place in the world. They are also forms of stressors. Nakaka-stress din yung mga yan. Okay, now, what I want you to do is, in your journal, you may write the different stressors or the different things or the different threats around or within you that may be causing stress to your body. And you may rate them from 1 to 10. Say, for example, you list down 10 stressors, then you may categorize them. So you may create 3 columns. For the first column, you write the stressor. Second column, you write the category of the stressor, and the third column, you write the rank from 1. You rate it from 1 to 10, depending on how much it stresses you. Okay, so let's proceed. All right, so here is a general model of stress. So paano ba nagiging stressful ang isang tao? So sabi dito sa model na ito, may tatlong stage ang stress. First is the alarm stage, this one. Second is the resistance stage. And third is the exhaustion stage. Right. So let's go first in the alarm stage. Alarm stage is the actual production of stress in your body. In this phase, the initial reaction of the body is it labels the stressor as a threat or a danger to balance. That is why it immediately activates its fight or flight response system and releases the stress hormones such as adrenaline, noradrenaline, and cortisol. These hormones enable you to perform activities that you don't usually do. So alarm stage, I mean to say, for example, may threat, aso. Yeah? Example, nangangaroling kayo sa inyong subdivision tapos bigla kayong nabol ng aso. Then, di mo na namalayan, pero the next thing, you see yourself na nakaakyat na sa puno, which is usually hindi mo nagagawa. So, bakit kaya yun? Bakit kaya natin nagagawa yung mga bagay na hindi natin nagagawa? It's because our body is addressing in order to respond to a particular stressor. In that case, yung aso, which may be a form of physical stressor. Okay? So, yan, nag-respond ang yung katawan. Another thing is, for example, usually sa yung relaxed state, hindi ka nakakagawa ng isang project. Lagi kang nagpo-procrastinate. Kasi imbis na magpo-project ka, nakahiga ka lang, gumagawa ka ng, naglalaro ka lang, or relax ka. Pero when a deadline is set, for example, nag-set ang deadline, 2 days na lang gagawa. So, for example, 2 days, so naging stressful ka. So, yung normal na hindi mo nagagawa for 1 month, na 1 month mo na sana ang dapat magawa, nagawa mo in 2 days. Right? Your body is responding through the alarm stage. Next, of course, kapag nag-alarm ang yung body or nag-respond ang yung katawan sa mga environmental stressors or psychological stressors or different stressors, it needs to slow down. It needs to compensate whatever physiological resources that have been used in the process of the alarm stage. Kasi wala namang sa buhay kasi, although may mga masabi tayo may mga libre, pero in terms of bodily processes or physiological processes, walang libre. Lahat ng bodily processes merong kabayaran. So, first in the alarm stage, gumamit ka ng mga resources kasi yung mga muscles mo siguro may mga turning of the muscles, may mga iba't ibang physiological resources mo, like tumaas ang blood pressure mo, all those things. So your body needs to pay, right? So it uses in the resistance stage, it uses the stored resources or energy in your body to pay or to compensate whatever has been used during the alarm stage. So it is more likely that in this stage that the stress level has been eradicated or simply reduced. What happens next? To the flight or flight response that your body's defenses become weaker as it needs to allocate energy to repair of damaged muscle tissues and lower the production of stress hormones. So, papansin nyo, pagkatapos nyo gumawa ng isang napaka-stressful na problem during the alarm stage, ang katawan nyo medyo manghihina. Kailangan nyo magpahinga. Kaya nga ang usual na nangyayari sa atin kapag gumagawa tayo ng isang stressful na bagay, napapagod tayo. Kasi kailangan ng body na mag-resist. Kailangan ng time ng ating body para palitan kung ano man yung nagamit during the alarm stage. So this is during the resistance stage. However, the normal process of stress is alarm then resistance. Kapag okay naman na compensate naman ng katawan ang mga nagamit na energy during the alarm stage, na compensate naman niya dito sa resistance stage, okay na. Pero may mga times na kung saan mas mataas ang ginagamit ng ating katawan kaysa sa mga available resources sa ating body. Again, walang libre. So in this case, we can metaphorically say that merong utang ang ating katawan. Nagkakautang. Naglo-loan siya ng mga resources na dapat sana hindi natin gamitin. So kasi laging alarm stage, for example, laging may project, laging may deadline, laging may binibigay yung teacher, laging may binibigay yung parents niyo, laging may problema. So parang every time na lang, laging nasa alarm stage ang katawan. So, wala nang time para ang body mag-resist. So, dito na ngayon itong third stage, which is the exhaustion stage. This is the stage wherein the body has no more reserve energy or no more reserve physiological resources to compensate whatever has been used by your body in a repeated alarm stage. So the body starts to lose its ability to combat stressors and reduce their harmful impact because the adaptive energy is all drained out. Kayo to ngayon. Kasi exhausted na exhausted kayo. Ito yung mga tinatawag natin kung sa Tagalog pa, mga sabaw na, mga lutang na, ano ba, mga warak na. Warak ba? Tama ba yan? So, the exhaustion stage can be referred as the gateway towards burnout or stress overload, which can lead to health problems if not resolved immediately. So, this is when stress becomes negative, when the body can no longer go along with the stressful situations. Okay? So, exhaustion stage. Alright, let's proceed. Ito nangyayari. So again, homeostasis, balance ang laging hinahanap ng ating katawan. During the alarm stage, may nagagamit tayong resources at pilit itong kinocompensate during the resistance stage. Pero kapag patuloy na lang na may stress at hindi nare-resist ng ating katawan, it leads to exhaustion or the total annihilation of your energy. Okay? So let's talk about the HPA axis. So HPA stands for hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenal gland axis. Bakit axis? Kasi meron silang relationship. Meron silang affair. Yan. So there is a cycle that is happening. So why do we need to talk about the HPA axis? Because this is the main physiological process or the physiological path that makes or creates stress or is responsible for the stress response in your body. First, about the different parts of the HPA axis. So hypothalamus, ito yun, part of your brain, responsible for production of many of the body's essential hormones. One of the most important functions of the hypothalamus is to link nervous system to the endocrine system via the pituitary gland. So, hypothalamus belongs to the nervous system because of course it is part of your brain. And this is the part of your brain which is directly connected to the endocrine system, which is now connected to the pituitary gland. Mamaya maintindihan natin yan. So the hypothalamus controls body temperature, hunger, important aspects of parenting, attachment behavior, thirst, fatigue, sleep, and circadian rhythms. Marami talagang function ng hypothalamus because later on malalaman natin yan. So ito. In terms of homeostasis, which is the main quest of your body, this is the main star, hypothalamus. Yan ang nagma-maintain ng homeostasis sa ating katawan. Okay. Let's go to the pituitary gland. Ito ang tinatawag nating master gland. Yan. So siya yung pinaka-master. Kumbaga siya si Master Yoda. Sumusunod sa kanya lahat ng mga Jedi. Because it controls several of the other hormone glands like the adrenal glands, the thyroid glands. So makikita nyo, kakaiba yung kanyang itsura. No? So yan. So from the hypothalamus, here's the pituitary gland. Yan siya. Tapos zoom out mo yan. Okay, so connected silang dalawa. Here in this slide, you will realize now why the pituitary gland ito. Ba't siya tinatawag na master gland? Kasi kontrolado niya ang iba't ibang mga parts of the body na nagre-release ng mga iba't ibang glands. At this point, ang i-focus natin ito. Okay? The connection of the master gland and its disciple, the adrenal gland. Okay? Okay, so punta naman tayo sa adrenal cortex or adrenal gland. It produces hormones that are vital to life such as cortisol, or what we know as the stress hormone. Cortisol is the stress hormone, which helps your body to respond to stress. So, alam niyo ba na cortisol really helps us to survive? Kaya ka gumigising sa umaga, it's because cortisol is increased in the morning. Kaya nga, ganito na nangyayari dyan eh. Kaya kapag ikaw ay natutulog sa umaga, or madaling araw ka natutulog, or hindi maganda ang magiging tulog mo. Kasi nga mataas ang cortisol, which means madali kang ma-disturb. Kasi again, cortisol allows you to wake up. It allows you to do your bodily functions. So, it is the hormone that literally tells you need to work. You need to wake up and you need to do the things that you need to do. Okay? Let's now connect this different. Wala pa pala. So, okay. So, yeah, again, it produces the cortisol, which helps metabolism, again, helps your body respond to stress, and it also releases aldosterone, which helps control blood pressure. Okay? The part of the adrenal gland, which is also known as the medulla, is located inside the adrenal cortex in the center of an adrenal gland. It produces several stress hormones, including adrenaline and, of course, your favorite cortisol. So, in short, ang adrenal gland ang nagre-release ng stress hormone. Okay, so let us now connect these three parts of the HPA axis, the hypothalamus, the pituitary, and the adrenal cortex. So, ito ang nangyayari dyan. So, parang may nangyayaring message relay. So, hypothalamus releases corticotrophin releasing hormone, or the CRH. This is a neurotransmitter involved in stress response that sends the body to pituitary gland. So for example, may stress. Oh, nakaka-stress. Feeling mo stressful ang situation kasi nahuli ka ng iyong parent na imbes na gumawa ng project ay naglalaro ng computer games. So nahuli ka kasi alam mong grounded ka na naman. So ang mangyayari ngayon, yung hypothalamus magre-release siya ng CRH. Kasi this is the way of the hypothalamus to transmit message to the pituitary gland. Ayan, sasabihan niya ang pituitary gland yun, uy, pituitary gland, gawin mo ang trabaho mo. Ano naman ang tatrabahuin ng pituitary gland? Ang gagawin naman ngayon, kapag natanggap niya ang CRH from the hypothalamus, ang pituitary gland magre-release siya ng ACTH. Hirap kasi ibanggitin eh. Adrenocorticotropic hormone in response to the CRH. Okay? Ito naman ngayon, ang adrenocorticotropic hormone, ito naman ang nire-release ng pituitary gland papunta sa adrenal gland. Kasi nga siya ang master eh. Pero pinaka-master pala talaga ang hypothalamus. Siguro, commander ito, tapos ito yung general. Sabi ng general, uy, may stress. So, CRH, pasa sa kanya. Sabi ng pituitary gland, uy, papasa ko to, ang trabaho ko kay adrenal gland. Ayan. So, the adrenal gland will respond to the message by releasing now cortisol. So, una muna CRH, then ACTH, then ACTH to cortisol. Now, cortisol is best known for the involvement in the fight or flight response and temporary increase in energy production. Kaya nagkakaroon ng stress. And again, bakit tinawag na axis? Kasi babalik yan. So kapag naka-release na ng cortisol ang ating katawan, babalik yan doon sa anterior pituitary gland at magre-report ang pituitary gland sa hypothalamus. It's not our concern today. Medyo technical na yan. Basta ang dapat lang nating malaman is that the stress, the physiological process of stress within your body is through the HPA axis. Okay? Yung pasahan ng message from the hypothalamus down to the adrenal cortex. Right. Sige. Ngayon, pag-usapan natin kung kailan nagiging negative ang stress. Ano ba ang nagiging effect ng stress sa ating katawan kapag ito ay nasobrahan? Kapag nasa almost burnout na tayo, nasa exhaustion stage. Marami naman yan eh. Alam niyo yan. Kasi lagi nyo na-feel yan. For example, in terms of our nervous system, yan, fatigue, napapagod, reduced concentration, decreased mood. So, hindi ka na nakakonsentrate, hindi ka nakaka-focus. Masyado kang pagod, laging sabaw. In terms of your skin, yan, pumapangit ka. Kasi you lose moisture, skin tone mo, nagiging pale na rin. Hindi ka na yung parang dove skin, kahit anong gawin ni Bello, hindi pa rin masusolusyonan yan. Kasi nga stressful ang yung katawan. So meaning to say, tama nga si Yula Valdez na sinabi niya, beauty comes from within. At the same time, ugliness comes from within if you are too much stressed. Then, in terms of your circulatory system, yan, narrowing of arteries, increased blood glucose. Kaya ka nagkaka-hypertension or high blood, o di kaya nagkaka-diabetes. Okay. In terms of digestive system, yan, hindi mo na na-absorb yung mga nutrients ng iyong katawan. Sige, vitamins ka pa, pero iihi mo lang yan kasi hindi na na-absorb ng iyong digestive system. Lagi ka na nagkaka-hyperacidity. Yan, laging sumasakit ang iyong tiyan, lagi kang natatae. Wala namang kinain. Decreased immunity, kaya mabilis kang magkasakit, magkasipon, magka-allergy. Here, hormonal imbalance, kaya nagiging moody ka. Yung iba, nagkakaroon ng mga hormonal sickness or illnesses. And last but not the least, yan, pumapayat ka o di kaya tumataba. Kasi, kumukonti ang yung muscles. Kaya sa mga athletes dyan, bawal ma-stress. Kaya pinapatulog kayo ng coach nyo. Bawal kayong magpuyat before the game. Diba? So, ito pa ang mga iba't ibang mga effects ng stress kapag ito ay nasobrahan. Okay? So, basahin nyo na lang yan. Ito pa, marami pa. Asan dyan yung mga check kayo? Sige nga. Okay. Right. Now, ito medyo... Bakit ba nagkakaroon ng stress? Kung kanina pinag-usapan natin yung physiological, ngayon pag-usapan natin ang another model ng stress. Ito ay inintroduce ni Richard Lazarus. Ang tawag niya dito is the appraisal theory. This is the theory in psychology that emotions are extracted from our evaluations of events that cause specific reactions in different people. Essentially, our appraisal of a situation causes an emotional or affective response that is going to be based on that appraisal. Meaning to say, sabi ni Richard Lazarus, hindi naman lahat ng bagay na sa tingin nyo ay stressful talaga. Parang nakalito, ano? So, ganito na lang. May mga bagay na stressful para sa iyo, pero para sa ibang tao, hindi. So, bakit kaya may iba't ibang tao na iba't iba ang reaction sa mga bagay-bagay? Nang sabi ni Richard Lazarus dyan, it depends on our appraisal. Meaning to say, things are not really stressful in themselves, but things just become stressful depending on how people appraise that particular stressor. Say for example, may mga ibang estudyante na nasistress sila kapag sila ay nakakuha ng 90. Diba? 90. Okay, may mga ibang estudyante na pag nakakuha sila ng 90, parang stress na stress sila, umiiyak. Kasi yun pa, daw tatanungin mo, oy pre, ba't ka malungkot ngayon? Pre, mababa yung grade ko. Ilan yung grade mo? 90. Tapos pa, may mga ibang estudyante din na kapag nakakuha ng 75, ang saya-saya. Di ba? So, anong pinagkaiba? Bakit may mga estudyante na makakuha ng high grade, stressful para sa kanila, pero may iba na very low grade, pero masaya naman sila, hindi sila stress? It depends on the appraisal. Sabi ni Richard Lazarus. So, let's talk about how this appraisal theory works. So, again, stressors comes from your environment usually. And ito ang So, with the interaction of the environment and the person begins when the person appraises the particular object in the environment. So, say for example, bagsak sa perdev. So, say for example, may mga iba't ibang klaseng appraisal dyan. Pwedeng isipin ng tao na yung experience na yun positive. Pwede din namang dangerous. Pwede din namang irrelevant. Pag sinabing positive, uy, ang ganda ng nangyari. Pag sinabing dangerous, ay, yan, ayoko yan. Kasi parang apektado ako dyan negatively. Pag irrelevant, uy, wala akong pake. Okay? So, for example, bagsak sa perdev. Pwede mo sabihin na, okay lang. Di bale, ang tawag dyan, may positive naman ang nangyari sa buhay ko eh. Hindi naman sa grade na measure ang personal development. Dangerous, ay, patay ako kay mami. Hindi pwede yan. Irrelevant, wala akong pakialam. Petics lang. Okay. Now, kailan nagkakaroon ng stress? Kapag ang tingin ng tao ay dangerous yung situation. If he or she thinks that it is a threat. Right? So, pag yan ang nangyari, pupunta na ngayon sa next na process, which is a secondary appraisal. Ang secondary appraisal, psychologically, you think, may resources ba ako dyan? Or wala? Okay? Meron ba akong pwedeng panlaban dito? Or wala? Kasi for example, bagsak sa perdev, patay ako kay mami, lagot ako nito. Second appraisal ngayon, ang tatanungin mo, ano kaya ang gagawin ko para maresolbahan ko itong problemang ito? Meron ba akong magagawa? Pag sasabihin mo, meron akong magagawa. Ang gagawin ko na lang, magpapakabait ako. Lilinisin ko yung bahay, kasi pag lilinisin ko yung bahay, kahit malaman ni mami na bagsak ako, okay lang sa kanya kasi nilinis ko naman ang bahay. Pero sa tingin mo, wala nang ibang paraan. Papagalitan ka talaga ni mami. Kahit anong gawin mo, maglinis ka man ng bahay o linisin mo ang bahay ng kapitbahay ninyo, wala pa rin mangyayari. So, ang tawag natin dyan is insufficient resources. Mean to say, wala ka nang magagawa. So, pag wala kang magagawa, doon na papasok ang stress. Okay? So, dyan na nagkakaroon ng stress ang tao kapag tingin niya, wala siyang magawa sa mga bagay na nakaka-threat sa kanya or threaten sa kanya. Okay. Now, ang tanong natin dyan, how do we cope up with stress? Sabi ni Richard Lazarus, may dalawang klaseng coping mechanism. Problem-focused or emotion-focused. Pero para sa inyo, ano kaya based on this model, ano kaya sa tingin niyo ang pinaka the best na panlaban sa stress? Diba? Para sa akin, dapat mag-start sa primary appraisal. For example, may mga problema ka sa buhay, bakit mo pa problemahin? Nagiging problema lang ang problema kapag ito ay pinoproblema ng isang tao. Pero pag sa tingin niya, okay lang, sabi ng kung tiwala lang tao kay Lord, okay lang, hindi nagiging problema. Diba? So, nagiging problema lang ang isang problema kapag ito ay pinoproblema. Or in the vocabulary of Richard Lazarus, when you think that the particular stressor is dangerous. Okay? Pero kung, for example, wala talagang paraan, ganito ka na talaga mag-isip, paano natin siya ma-cope in an effective manner? So, sabi ni Richard Lazarus, may dalawang klaseng coping mechanism, the problem-focused and the emotion-focused. Right? So, okay, nag-discuss ko na yan. Basahin nyo na lang. Ayan, coping. Paano ba yung coping? Okay. It's a cognitive or behavioral response to stress aimed at managing or reducing stress. Tanong ko muna, pag kayo ay stressed, ano ang ginagawa nyo para ma-overcome nyo yung stress na yan? Pwede matulog, pwede maglaro, pwede magdasal, iba kumakain. May iba't iba tayong pamamaraan ng coping mechanism sa stress. Okay. Una is the emotion-focused coping. This is used when a person has no capacity to deal with the source of the problem. Thus, he or she uses different strategies to deal with the problem, such as avoiding, distancing, accepting the situation, turning to alcohol or drugs, or asking for professional help. Bakit may mga taong gumagamit ng emotion-focused coping? Ito yung mga times na kapag feeling niya, wala siyang magagawa sa problema. he or she has no capacity to ease the problem. So, ang ginagawa niya, temporarily, tinatanggal niya muna ang effects ng stress ng katawan niya. But in the bottom line, hindi niya talaga nasa-solve yung problem. So, say for example, stress eating. Pag ikaw ba ay kumakain ng marami, nasa-solve mo ba ang problema? Hindi, di ba? Pero at least, natulungan mo yung katawan para mag-relax. Alright. Pwede ding uminom ng alak. Ang problema dyan, nasa-solve mo ba ang problema kapag inom ka ng alak? Hindi, pero at least nakakalimutan mo. Di ba? But the question is, can you really solve the stress using these strategies? Kasi yung titignan mo, you are just solving the problem by removing the branches without even focusing on the root. Now, sabi ni Richard Lazarus, in order for us to effectively stress, we just don't need to depend on emotion-focused coping. We need to be problem-focused, meaning to say, face the problem instead of evading the problem. Okay? People with problem-focused coping take control of their situation by removing the source of stress or reducing the effect of the stressor. They may also get enough information or research on the nature of their problem so that they can better understand the cause of their stress. Kung sa emotion-focused, pinapairal mo yung emotion mo. Sa problem-focused, pinapairal mo ang iyong isip. Okay? Sabi ni Richard Lazarus, para maresolbahan ang problema, gamitin ang isip, huwag ang puso. Okay? So, huwag magpadala sa problema. Maghanap ng paraan upang mas resolbahan ang problema. So, say for example, in my situation before, during my first year of teaching, I was really so stressed kasi walang pahinga talaga yon. Laging nasa exhaustion stage ako kasi laging sunod-sunod ang deadline, especially pa-ASCO days noon. So, unit plan, lahat yan. Talagang wala akong stress kahit linggo, may trabaho ako, so wala talagang time para magpahinga or para mag-resistance stage. Kaya nangyayari sa akin, ito example, problema ko dati, yung mga mag-check ng mga essay papers. Talagang ang hirap mag-check ng essay papers kasi babasahin mo lahat yun. And ilan yung estudyante mo? 400. Okay? Tapos ano pa? Paano mo ma-collect tayo mga notebooks? Ito pa yung problema namin dati, mag-check ng exam papers. Bawal ipa-check ang exam papers sa ibang tao. Dapat ikaw lang. So talagang wala akong talagang stress na stress ako noon. Kaya ang ginagawa ko dati, pagkatapos ng trabaho, tulog muna, tapos kain, stress eating. Kaya ang nangyayari sa akin, tumataba. Kaya ako nagkaroon ng hypertension ngayon kasi dati ang ginagawa ko pag stress ako, kumakain ako ng mga fatty foods, mga carbohydrate-rich foods, kaya nagkakaroon ng sakit. Only to find out na hindi pala talaga nakatulong yung mga ginagawa ko dati. Kaya I resorted to the problem-focused coping. So, ang ginagawa ko ngayon, naghanap ako ng paraan para mas gumaan yung feel ko na stress. So, instead of eating, ang ginagawa ko, naghanap ako ng paraan. Kaya, for example, in terms of checking papers, ang ginamit ko ngayon yung zip grade. Yung dating 2 days, 3 days, 4 days na nag-check ako ng papel, ngayon, kaya ko nang gawin in 5 minutes. Using zip grade. Now, dati yung mga lagi akong nag-check ng essay. Ang ginagawa ko, binawasan ko yung essay. Mas more ako sa objective part. So, see, kanya-kanyang paraan lang yan. So, say for example, may problema ka lagi sa grades mo. Imbis na lagi kang dota ng dota kasi sa feeling mo na nag-unwind ka, kaya puro ka na lang unwind, wala kang nagagawa, bagsak ka tuloy, why not find a way in order to solve your problem instead of just evading the problem. So why not go with people na talagang magagaling sa academics, magpagkaibigan. Instead na pupunta sa internet shop, every break time punta sa library, di ba? Tapos mag-planning, di ba? Magplano. So yan lang naman po. Okay? So ang sinasabi ni Richard Lazarus, if you really want to solve your stress and to cope up with stress, avoid emotion-focused coping. Consider focusing on the problem-focused coping. Okay? So, that's